As an adult, you don't know Ash Cash if it's not for Miss Amina. You know, she's been my guardian angel, right? My person who's been really just helping me through this journey called life for over 20 years now, right? We are happily married. Well, he laughed. Not happily?
No, that laugh was off.
Okay.
That one kind of hit me a little different because I ran through so many instances where we've been through a lot of different phases, stages, people, and as a wife. And I never even knew. I wasn't brought up to be somebody's wife, to be 100% transparent. I wasn't groomed. You have cultures that groom their daughters to become a wife. I kind of learned a lot of things along the way, but the one thing I was groomed for is commitment and loyalty to family. So that's what I bought for you.
Begging because I got a whole lot. They ignore the work I put in. I've been hard on the grind, I've been putting in the time. Had to make a sacrifice to get it. I'm living in abundance. Hard work got me living in abundance. You gotta grind if you want it, to live in abundance.
All right, so welcome to Abundance Conversations, which is a show that we've been talking about for a long time, and not necessarily a show, but just really having the conversations that we have behind the scenes. And really, we've always said, man, I wish we've, had a camera rolling, so we could talk about certain things. But I think most importantly, what Abundance Conversations is really going to take you through a journey, of a family journey, a building wealth journey, a journey of, what does it look like, to be let into, what our personal mission is, and then also our mission for the community. And so if you're watching this for the first time and you don't know who I am, my name is Ash Cash. I am called the Hip Hop Financial Advisor, the Financial Motivator. I am an author. I am a book coach. I am a podcaster. I am an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. I've been seen millions of times throughout the internet, television, radio, just someone that really cares about our community and wants to help people change their mindset in order to really live in abundance, right? I have this saying that says abundance is your birthright. And I really truly believe that. I have a deep love for God, deep love for my family, deep love for my community. But none of this, right, is not possible. First, all praises due to the Most High God. None of this is possible without God. And, obviously my parents who birthed me and things of that nature. But as an adult, you don't know Ash Cash if it's not for Miss Amina. And so, she's been my guardian angel, right? My person who's been really just helping me through this journey called life for over 20 years now, right? So we started dating in 2003, and so that's 21 years. We are happily married. Well, he laughed. Not happily?
No. That laugh was off target because
Gotcha.
I was like trying to contain myself when you use the term guardian angel. Yeah. Like you always tend to use words or descriptives that I've never heard before. And that one kind of hit me a little different because I ran through so many instances where I'm like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. We've been through a lot of different phases, stages, people, and as a wife. And I never even knew. I wasn't brought up to be somebody's wife, to be 100% transparent. I wasn't groomed. You have cultures that groom their daughters to become a wife. I kind of learned a lot of things along the way, but the one thing I was groomed for is commitment and loyalty to family. So that's what I bought for you, right? that guardian angel, when you said that, I immediately just thought about my grandmother, and it just made me smile on the inside. So that's what the laugh was about. It wasn't about the...
He was like, happily married.
Happily married.
I got a story to tell.
No.
But you know, married for 17 years, 2 genius babies, daughter, son, who, I mean, they're not genius because they're mine or ours, but they're just the best human beings that I've ever ran across. But in the same breath, you know, we've had a lot of ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've struggled together. We've done everything together. We've struggled together. We've been abundant together. Like we've been through everything together.
Right.
And so I want to start this off and just kind of giving the audience you know, sort of like a premise of what this show is really about. We're calling it the Abundance Conversations because, you know, we are writing a book together called The Abundance Formula. And the Abundance Formula is really about helping people live in abundance, right? You know, together, right? Like we've separately have made a lot of money in our lives, but together we've generated millions of dollars as entrepreneurs. But we've also blown a lot of money too, right? Like we've messed up a lot of money, and honestly, now that I know, and we'll talk about that along the lines about brain patterns and all that stuff. But now that I know how my brain works, I'll actually take the full. Don't shake your head. Yes. Don't shake it. Don't shake. Yes. But I'll take the full responsibility for a lot of the mishaps and the impulsiveness and the things, the decisions,
especially financially.
Yeah.
But we'll be getting into those different scenarios.
Yeah, we'll get into
y'all will see.
Yeah.
Y'all will see who's who.
Yeah.
As the show goes along, but go ahead.
Yeah. So what they say, those who know do, and those who don't teach. I was playing. I'm just playing. I know what I'm talking about. But you know, but to that, I'll just be 100% transparent and frank. Is that I'm very good at coaching. I'm very good. I know what to do. And why to do it and how to do it. And I've advised many people. I've made countless people millions of dollars and things of that nature. I do what I know what to do for myself as well. But ultimately, because the way my brain works, I jump around. And in order to get the results that I teach, you can't jump around. You gotta focus, right? And so, and we'll dive deep into that too, because a lot of it I think is survivor's guilt. I think a lot of it is impulsiveness. I think there's a lot that needs to be unpacked, right? But either way, I do want to talk, so I want you to introduce yourself as well. But I want to talk about our meeting with Dr. Claude Anderson, because I believe that our meeting with Dr. Claude Anderson, his wife, the family, is what sparked.
Right. It's what really helped us to execute on this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So if you could introduce yourself for the folks, and then we could talk about our meeting with Dr. Claude.
Okay, so my introduction will be really short and brief. My name is Amina. I am an author. I've written 9 children's books, and recently, I don't want to call it a memoir. It's part of, and this is probably some of the things we'll talk about as well, part of a self-discovery process that I went through. I'm an HR consultant by profession and a serial entrepreneur. You know, I dibble and dabble in investing and real estate. A little bit, I'm a serial hustler, right?
From Brooklyn. You mentioned Brooklyn? That's how I say it?
No, that's not.
Brooklyn, New York.
We are very classy. I hate that stereotype.
Yo, it's crazy because there's this meme going around that's showing like the different Tims and all that stuff.
Oh, I saw that.
It is so. Somebody from Brooklyn did that.
No, it's very
Yo,
accurate.
how is Brooklyn the one with the clean butters?
Absolutely, because we
Y'all
started that.
No, y'all started it.
Absolutely.
How did you start it? What are you talking about? That sounds crazy to me. Like Puff Daddy, no Diddy, but Puff Daddy introduced it to Biggie in '92.
You believe that?
And then y'all saw it on
So I'm
video.
gonna take you back.
And y'all thought,
I'm gonna take you back. I'm gonna take you back. Very inaccurate.
Where Diddy got it from the guys at Harlem hustling.
I grew up with uncles.
Yeah. And
they was wearing them before.
And they had butters.
Absolutely.
So you're telling me
one of them almost got robbed for a pair.
So you're telling me that your uncles were wearing Timbs.
Absolutely.
In '92.
With 8-ball jackets before '92.
Before '92.
Yes.
I'm not buying it. But either which way, I'm sorry, because it's a tangent, but because you talking about be classy, because I know people from Brooklyn as stick-up kids, like y'all was grimy.
Yes, that is accurate.
And Harlem was the hustlers, and y'all wore 40 belows.
What are those?
Them little, the high top black boots with the army fatigues on. Nah, but either which way, we
40 belows. I know what you're talking about now.
With your jeans tucked in. Yeah. That was the Brooklyn look. And now all of a sudden, y'all the one with the clean butters. But either way, we're writing a book called The Abundance Formula, 9 Proven Steps to Build Black Family Wealth, Protect Your Legacy, and Empower Generations. And one of the things that we do in the Abundance Formula is we have a 9-step program, or 9-step process, if you will, that we're gonna take ourselves on, and we're also gonna help the community do the same thing. And so
correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of it is going to be through sharing our past stories as well as our future stories.
Correct.
That way they can get a real
correct
idea of
absolutely
how we've transitioned, grown, and evolved, and are now putting these things into place.
1000%. Yeah, and we'll bring on guests, right? We'll bring on friends, right? We'll bring on like our mentors, people who are teaching us in real time. So whether it's life insurance, whether it's trust, whether it's using credit to build wealth, whether it's stock market trade, whatever, like anything that we're implementing, we want to make sure that we're sharing where we're getting the information from, whose model we're using, and how we're gonna do it. One of the models that we're gonna be using, and that's in the book as well, is that this is inspired, right? The Abundance Formula is inspired by PowerNomics and the Rockefeller Family Trust, right? And so what we decided, so we had a conversation, and I'll give you.
Did you bring the book?
Which one?
The PowerNomics.
I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Right, but
no, is it the box isn't in the car? Remember, he gave us every book that he wrote.
I'm sure we took. I'm sure we took it out.
Okay.
I'm sure I took it out. But PowerNomics. So I'll start off with the story of how we came about. This journey of PowerNomics. And if you haven't read PowerNomics, you should read PowerNomics. It's one of the most powerful books specifically, for Black people, right? Because it talks about how to build Black wealth. So I'm a book coach, right? So I have, I've written over 40 books, but I've published only 17 of them. And I've sold, close to 250,000 books as an independent author. I've made, like I said, we've generated, and when I say I always know she's involved. I don't think there's anything I've ever done that she wasn't a part of. So when I say I, we've done it together, but, we've been able to generate millions of dollars, from, personally cash collected, but then also from a perspective of, helping others do the same thing, we have a program. We have two programs. We have One Brick Publishing. One Brick Publishing is our publishing company where we coach people from beginning to end how to write and publish their books. So we've ghostwritten books for people. We have a lot of big name clientele that we've helped. Some we publicly talk about, some we don't publicly talk about, just because of the nature of the agreement. But then we also have a book marketing company called Book Rich. And Book Rich comes, we have a software, all-in-one marketing software. And through our Book Rich program, we have a group of people that, we teach on a weekly basis, helping them build a 6-7 figure business. And through that, shout out to Professor English, Donna English, who, one day she just hit me and she said, hey, I might have a client for you, right? She was like, do you know Dr. Claude Anderson? I'm like, do I know Dr. Claude Anderson? Of course I do. And what she was saying was that, Dr. Claude Anderson had written all these books, and he hadn't been able to have any audiobooks yet, right? And so wanted to create an audiobook. And wanted us to, because it's, is what we do, One Brick Publishing, we, coach and help, wanted us to help develop the audio book. And so we were the team behind helping PowerNomics become an audio book. In that process, we, did all of the recordings and editing and all that stuff, and we were delivering the book to the family, and we could have done it, through email or whatever, but we were heading to go see our family, and we were like, we would love to meet you. We had a great conversation with Dr. Claude and his wife, and there's other projects that we may be working on together as well, God's will. And in that process, we were like, let's go meet them. And so we went to go meet them. And for me, there was a life-changing meeting. Talk a little bit about that meeting.
Man, where do we start, right? Because like you said, we've been very familiar with Dr. Claude Anderson and his work many years before getting this project, right? I believe, and the irony is that we had planned to use his work 5 years ago, right? I wrote a whole outline, plan, and structure that we could follow to present it like a program or something like that. But it kind of fell by the wayside because we, as per usual, we have so many other things going on. But meeting him, for me, seeing how old is Dr. Claude?
Ooh, he gotta be
in his late 80s.
Late 80s,
right?
yeah, late 80s, yeah.
Seeing how much passion that he has for the Black community, for the work that he does, and to see, even to this day, see his vision still come alive was game-changing for me. Yeah. Because, and I don't want to sound discriminatory, because of his age, you think you're in a state where you're ready to relax and, but no, he still has that fire and that fight to say, we need to make these changes now. It's so important. The community, families follow these strategies in order to propel ourselves from a wealth perspective. So it was phenomenal. And
I think that it was in that, right, to see someone, one of our elders, to be in a space of like the level of his passion.
Oh man.
Right? Like to see one of our elders so passionate, and he's given his whole entire life to this work, to the building of Black wealth,
education, educating,
everything.
And he not only teaches it, but he's done it.
He's done it.
If you've read the book, you know he talks about what needs to be done, and then he shows you how he did it.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah. And so for me, it was almost I feel like it was almost a moment of shame, to be honest with you, for me. Right? It was almost like a moment of shame, because I, as somebody who was like, hey, I'm a financial educator and I help people do this, and I'm like, nah, like once you see the level that he operates in, and how serious he is, I'm like, Ash, you're not taking this thing serious. I think for me, and when I say a level of shame, I think it was a level of I'm not taking this as serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when I think about where we are as a community.
Yeah.
What needs to be done as a community. I think I was a little too lackadaisical, you know, in my mission. And so that was the first spark. That was like, all right, now you stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta do it at another level. And the truth of the matter too is, like you said, I've read PowerNomics God knows how many times, but to actually listen to it and to hear it, it just does something else to you. It does something to you.
There's no way you can read that book and it not change how you think about money, wealth, business, politics, because he combines everything and makes it all make sense.
Look, everybody has a story and everybody wants to tell their story, but do you know how to monetize your story and create income and impact? I am Cash, the financial motivator, author of over 20 books. I've sold over 250,000 books independently, and I have created a foolproof step-by-step process on how you can monetize your story. So listen, go to bookrichmastery.com, join my free masterclass where I'll teach you how to master being a storyteller, but also creating that income. Again, bookrichmastery.com, and I'll see you on the inside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and so for us, after that meeting, you know, we had a conversation and we was like, all right, we gotta do stuff different even, right? Because the truth of the matter is, you know, like I'm a hustler. You know what I mean? I know how to get money. I get a lot of money. But at the same time, you know, the decisions that I have made, we made that.
We made what?
The decisions.
No, we didn't make the
All
decisions.
right. The decisions that we made, everything is we.
Decisions.
The decisions that we've made, you know, have not, you know, obviously we're still part of the 1%, right? Yeah. But there are some things that we could have done differently financially.
There's a lot of things.
A lot of things. Yeah.
A lot of missteps.
Yeah.
A lot of missteps.
You know, and so this is our transparent moment of sort of like fixing a lot of those things.
Right.
Doing things.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say fixing.
Yeah.
Right. Because at the space that we're in now, it's almost as if we get the opportunity to start over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's weird. That's how life has been for us for the 20 plus years we've been together. We mess up a lot, then we get saved. We mess up a lot, then we always get saved. And our saves are our saves are really, really good.
Yeah.
It allows us to, you know.
Which is a blessing,
Absolutely.
right? Because again, there are people who hit rock bottom. Yeah. And that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
And
but I mean, and this is going to take the conversation a little left. But you know, I can't not have this conversation and not mention that that's attached to being clear about the source.
Oh, for sure,
right?
1,000%.
Because if you're unclear about your source, your save might be a little bit harder, right?
Say that.
But I'm very clear about where my gifts come from.
Absolutely.
Where my blessings come from.
Same, right? Which is true though, right? Which is why, to that point, a lot of people who will think about like you said, like our saves have been.
Yeah, it's almost I
think that our saves are so financially lucrative, but then spiritually too, because the thing, and it's hard to put it in words, right? Because it's almost like again, it doesn't matter what decisions we make,
right? And that's why I said that.
Yeah.
I mean, it does matter because I don't want to downplay that. It does matter.
Yeah.
But because, like I said, we're clear about where the source comes from.
Correct.
And what I wanted to say is that, you know, life, the universe just has a way of making you keep doing it over and over again.
Right, until you get it right.
Until you get it right. And our intention is to make sure we document this so y'all can keep us accountable to make sure that we get it right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, so that's what the abundance conversations are about. You know, again, we're going to be, talking to different experts, different people who are going to help us on our journey as well, right? From life insurance to trust to credit to real estate to all the different wealth vehicles.
And I think that part is very important because we, as a couple, tend to work in silos.
Correct. Yeah.
Throughout that the majority of our experience, we didn't really allow a lot of people in.
I agree.
And this is a great opportunity to allow people in, share it, and again, for them to hold us accountable as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's an element that I feel like we've missed. And I'll take a little bit of blame for that because I'm very protective of my family.
Yeah.
And I'm not letting just anybody in.
Yeah, no, for sure. And and again, I think that ultimately, so if we could just continue to be frank, the other piece of it that we didn't talk about was Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And what I mean by that is right around the same time we met Dr. Claude Anderson to talk about PowerNomics, Donald Trump had just won his second term as president. And the level of energy that was passing through our community to me was disappointing, right?
Okay.
And when I say that, I mean that people were like acting as if it was the end of the world. Yeah. Right? That Kamala lost and Donald Trump won. And to me, and this is just I don't care who would have won. Right? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, we as a black community still don't have any power for real.
Right.
And
no economic power.
No economic power. And honestly, I don't think we have political power even.
Right.
Because the truth is, when you look at,
you can't have one without the other. You
I
can't have
agree.
political power if you don't have any economic power.
I agree 1000%. And so for me, it was an example, or it was just like literally telling me like, this is another reason why you have to make sure that you're doing this work at a high level, because I just believe we could demand more for our community if we understand how to build true wealth. And then as we're building that wealth, we create that power source. And then the other thing though too, because we said this earlier, is again, where are we putting the power? Right? Do we really think politicians control everything, or do we control it first? Does God control it first? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I think that seeing how people were saying, "Oh my God, it's going to be the worst 4 years," and especially collectively as a community, I said, "Nah, we have to." We have to do a better job educating, because I think that if we did a better job educating, we could a lot of those fears wouldn't even exist.
Right.
Especially because a lot of the power that they're putting in the government's hand is not even the government that has the power. It's mostly local that has the power, and local you could actually control local with dollars. Right. So when you think about your state, you think about your city, you think about your county, like a lot of that stuff, you could control that directly. And those are the ones that make the laws that directly impact you.
Absolutely. You got to learn how to, and I say this frankly, you got to learn how to pimp the politicians. Because that's really what it is, if we want to be really, really frank.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm gonna tread lightly.
No. I mean, this is supposed to be a candid conversation. A candid conversation of around wealth, around building wealth, and so we're excited to take you on this journey. We're excited to have the conversations that are all about abundance. I want to pull up what abundance. So we love to talk in acronyms. And so I do want to pull up the abundance formula, and these are like the nine steps, if you will, that we're going to be focusing on. And so these 9 steps, let me see if I can find it. These are the 9 steps that and they all it spells out abundance, right? And so step number 1 is to align your savings and spending. And so that's A. And so in step number 1, we're talking about creating SMART goals, and really setting a SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, timely. These are all right. So how do you create the life that you desire, right? You have to first start with a plan. Number 2 is about broadening your earnings. And so how do you develop multiple streams of income to secure your wealth? And so in number 2, and we learned this from PowerNomics, and Nipsey Hussle talks about vertical integration as well. But in PowerNomics, Dr. Claude is talking about vertical integration, right? And a lot of people, when they hear multiple streams of income, they think start different businesses along different, start different types of businesses. But what Dr. Claude advises is vertical integration, right? So whatever your main business is, how can you create other businesses that align vertically, right? And so when you think why a rapper who talks about clothes and all the things that they talk about, why they would, why a rapper would get in the car business, why would they get in the clothes business, why would they have a jewelry line, like all the things that they talk about is because it's vertically integrated, right? And so we're going to talk about creating 7 streams of income, but do it in an integrated model. Number 3 is underwrite your financial freedom, right? Words have power. We don't call it an emergency fund. We call it a financial freedom fund. And so we want to make sure you have at least 6 to 8 months of expenses in an account. Number 4 is nurturing credit worthiness. And so how to build and maintain a credit score of 700 or higher. Shout out to one of my mentors, John Hope Bryant, in Operation Hope. They did this whole study on credit scores, and how neighborhoods that have low credit scores tend to have higher crime rates, right? And so there is a direct correlation to the credit score and the community. And so the higher the credit score, the better the community. But even from a perspective of wealth building, right? That there are ways to build wealth using credit, right? And so there's a philosophy called buy, borrow, die, which we'll talk about at some point, but it's really about how do you leverage debt, right? How do you buy assets, leverage the debt to live off of, and then how do you protect, right? How do you protect that asset once you die through a life insurance policy that allows you to live without having to pay taxes? It's a beautiful concept that we'll talk about, but you have to have the credit in order to do that. Number 5, diminishing your liabilities, which is D. Eliminate bad debt while strategically managing good debt. Number 6 is amplifying investing, so leveraging stock, real estate, and cryptocurrency to grow wealth. You're going to talk about that a lot, because I know we've been making some financial decisions that we'll talk about as well on the show that has helped us build wealth fast. Which and again at a later time we'll talk about how we've recently liquidated a asset in a term of real estate to be able to put more money into the markets, and through the history of how we've been performing on the markets, it makes just the most sense. And just to kind of give you a quick tidbit is like what it took for us to build a certain percentage of wealth through real estate in 6 years, you were able to do that in 6 months. That same percentage, you were able to do it. So we'll talk about that. 7, navigating a life insurance strategy, right? So how do you protect your family and become your own bank? I hear that a lot. How to become your own bank, and I mean, we haven't done it. I've been around many people who talk about it, and we haven't done it yet. So I want to, leverage that and teach people how to do it, but want to learn about that too. Number 8, which is create a tax wealth strategy. So how do you minimize your taxes to maximize your financial opportunities? And then lastly, number 9 is establish a legacy, right? So how do you build a trust and safeguard and pass down your wealth? And I think that's a really that might just be our next episode to talk about the trust, because I feel like I think that's going to be one of the most important parts, I think, because we see so many celebrities. I think Prince died. Had a will. That will was contested. They spent years in probate court. A lot of his wishes didn't get fulfilled the way it needed to be fulfilled. And a lot of us in our community don't have a will, don't have a trust at all.
Right, because it extends beyond celebrities. In my own family right now, they're dealing with something like that. My aunt, I don't want to put too much of the business out there, but her father had wealth. Yeah. And now the kids are like, looking like, you're not getting a piece of this. Right. He had a will. Yeah. He didn't have the trust. Yeah. And people don't understand that the trust is more ironclad than the will. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so those are the 9 steps, right? Those are the 9 steps. Throughout this series, we're going to be getting, talking about those, again, bringing on experts that will, have the conversations about, these different aspects. We're going to be, showing y'all in real time, doing certain things, and taking you on our journey. So for us, it's a 5-year journey, right? So our goal is for this to be a 5-year journey. And so, as we make mistakes, as we, do things, we'll inform you and just have the abundant conversation. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what you're gonna be tuned into. I'm excited about this. This is new for me, right? Yeah. Because for me, I've always been a teacher. I've always been the one teaching, but now it's time to let others who are the masters of what they do to teach. I'll follow. And even from a perspective, again, like I said, like I realized that my brain, like I'm I've so you wrote a book called Hidden in Plain Sight, and we'll talk about that. And in learning about how your brain works, I decided to I was looking at all the different neurodivergence that exists, ASD, ADHD, dyslexia, all that stuff. And I'm reading about ADHD, and I'm like, that sound like me. I'm like, man, that sound like a lot of stuff that I got going on. And I realized that I have, right? Because it's just the way your brain works. I took a test and I scored high, and I'm like, oh my God, I got ADHD. But thank God though that and we could talk about that too, because we have a different view on when someone should know. I think that it was a blessing that I didn't find out till I was an adult, because of the environment in which I grew up in. Had I known, I would have made excuses as to why I wasn't pushing myself, and the fact that I didn't know, it got me to a certain level, and that's just because I didn't. That's the other thing, I didn't have, like, the streets raised me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I say all that to say is that now that I realize how my brain works, again, that's why I need to listen to you more, right? Because the way your brain works and just even your guidance, you are more equipped to manage certain aspects of the family that I am, and now I don't have to, try to force something or whatever, and then again also just allowing others who are experts, let them drive the wheel. Yep. Yeah. So all right, y'all. So any other last words or?
No. I think this was a good intro.
All right, bet.
Right, more to come.
Yeah. So, just make sure you follow the show. I need you to like. I need you to subscribe. I need you to share this. This is going to be candid. I think also the other piece of it too. I don't like So I know the more you complain about something, the more you're bringing that stuff to you. And I realized that we are seeing a lot of content online that is counter to Black family, Black love, and instead of complaining about it, let's do something about it. Let's put out more content that is more focused on what we want to see. And this is probably, this is one of the reasons why we decided to do this, because again, we've been together, 21 years. We want to bring other, couples who are also, doing great things. And I think that that's what's gonna, help, change the narrative, if you will. And so I'm excited. Again, share this with your friends, your family. Make sure you subscribe. Abundance Conversations on the Abundance Content Studios.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see you next time. Again, this is a journey, and this journey is about helping you get to that next level. So,
yep.
All right, y'all.
All right.
We'll see y'all next time.
They give because I got a whole lot. They ignore the work I put in. I've been hard on the grind, I've been putting in the time. Had to make a sacrifice to get it. I'm living in abundance. Hard work got me living in abundance. You gotta grind if you want it. To live in abundance.